Hi, and welcome to Split Screen, a project put together by WTRF7 News and Lavo V on Facebook. I'm Nick Nash, your host, and this week we are bringing you a fantastic guest and a good friend of mine by the name of Chef Matt Welsh from the Vagabond Kitchen. Hey, Matt.
What's up, Nick? How's everybody doing?
Doing all right, doing okay. Glad you could be with us here today on the show. How are you doing?
Oh, hanging in there, just working hard, trying to keep all the pieces in the air, juggling everything, and just trying to take it one day at a time because it seems like things are changing every day. So
Yeah, it's been
just
a pretty
rolling with the
weird
punches.
time, and there's been a lot of talk about restaurants, and that's why we wanted to have you on the show just to get your perspective. You've had the Vagabond Kitchen in downtown Wheeling for how long now?
Almost 6 years.
That's hard to believe. I feel like you just
It is
opened.
hard to believe. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
it's super hard to believe. But yeah, June 8th will be our 6 year anniversary.
so you're kind of faced with a situation, and it's not just you. Everybody's kind of faced in the same situation with the social distancing and quarantining. Everybody's kind of at home. You're not allowed to have anybody eat inside your restaurant, although you are doing some curbside delivery, pickup, that sort of thing as well. How are you
Yeah.
handling? How are things going?
It's slow for sure, but we're plugging along. We do curbside and carry out Wednesday through Saturday from 11 to 8. And really, I just made a post on Facebook earlier today about how these days one person, like one order for an office, can make or break our whole day,
I saw
which
that.
is
That was a good post.
it's kind of rad, that you can make that big of a difference in your community right now. Like we really have a lot of power to do good things, and I always try to look at any situation as what opportunity does it present. I mean, yeah, it's super tough. Right now is a really hard time, but it's a very unique time, and I believe that there are things that we can get out of it, and whether that's going back to the drawing board for menu things or focusing on our homes or different parts of our lives that we've neglected because of work or all that. We're so busy these days, right? Like there's a million things going on, and our kids have a million things going on, and this is a chance to really kind of take a step back and take a deep breath and reevaluate some stuff.
How have you been handling that? I saw the other day you were out getting some construction supplies. You doing some home improvements or restaurant improvements?
A little bit of both, actually. Yeah, I'm holding the fort down here during the lunch hour and trying to kind of double duty and in between phone calls do a little bit of resurfacing of the tables or hanging some tin signs that we've got. I mean, you know how it is. Your honeydew list just grows and grows. So that happens in your business the same as it does at your house. So trying to use this as an opportunity to get all those things done or at least to make progress in
Yeah.
all those arenas.
Yeah. So you mentioned your menu. Let's take a look at your menu real quick. I have some of my favorites on there. Eh, let's go back to the beginning of Vagabond Kitchen. And what were your core menu items that you still are doing? What are your big things?
There aren't a lot at this point. The one thing that has always been on the menu is the turkey bacon brioche sandwich. And that has been on the menu from day one and has never gone away. That's always been a very popular sandwich for folks. Other than that, well, there's been a lot of changes over the years. I try to bring things in and out. Like we're due to bring back our Korean pulled pork tacos. Those were a big hit in the very beginning. We did those for 2 or 3 years, and we haven't been doing them. So I think it would be a good time to bring those back sometime soon. But I want to do all the things. And we can't have a huge menu because there's
Right.
so much work in prep and everything. And also, the more stock you have, the more opportunity you have for that stocked inventory to go bad. So we got to keep the menu a reasonable size, and then the only way to try all these different things is to do different features or change things up every once in a while.
I noticed you did last time I was in. You did shake up the my Baracho burger. That's my favorite. You added a couple of things to that.
Yep, we added Grown at Home in West Virginia's spice blend. Dave Schramm and Donna Schramm have their business down in New Martinsville, and they grow thousands of hot peppers every year, and they make their own spice blends. So we're dredging the hamburger patty in that spice blend, and then we added some tortilla strips to it, and we're putting it on the ciabatta bun now because with the chipotle cream cheese and everything, the ciabatta holds up a little bit better than the brioche that we put our restaurant burgers on.
I thought it was a good move. I really liked it.
Yeah,
Really
well,
liked the
thank you.
revamped version of it.
Thank
So
you. Yeah,
let's go back a few years ago. You were actually on a big time game show on the Food Network.
yep,
For those
yeah,
that don't
yeah.
know about it, Matt was on the on Guys Grocery Games on the Food Network. A couple of comments here. Truffle fries for the win. Your truffle fries are like they're just next level. So you're on guys grocery games, and I remember when this was going down, and you were very secretive about what was happening because you shot the episode, I don't know, a month or so in advance, and then you had to kind of keep it to yourself until it aired. So what was that experience like for you?
Well, the whole thing was so surreal. We actually shot it 4 months before it aired.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to keep a secret that big for 4 months. And it was the whole thing was surreal. I got back from running errands and a server said Food Network called. I'm like, yeah, sure they did. Like, come on. But I called the number back because you never know. And I have talked off and on over the years. I've talked to different producers and stuff. And, that was the one that materialized so far. And other things, you never know what'll happen. But I called him back and we did some Skype calls, some video calls. And it was like within a week and a half, I was getting dropped off at the airport. And I walked up to the counter. And I was like, I think I have a ticket. Like I was still waiting for, someone to jump out from behind a screen and say I was getting punked or something like that. And, I flew out one day. We filmed the next, and I flew back the third day. And I walked into the restaurant from the airport right into the dish pit because we were getting busy it was like a Friday night or something. And I walked right in and started doing dishes. So it kept me good and humble. And then I just had to keep my mouth shut for 4 months. But the whole thing is,
I mean, at the end of the day, I think we're past the spoiler alert part, but you won the episode. You won an amount of money from Guy Fieri, and you actually corrected me one time on how to pronounce Guy Fieri's name. What is it?
Fieri.
Fieri. I always get that wrong.
Fieri. Yeah.
Fieri. Guy Fieri. So you actually won the episode of Guys Grocery Games, and you featured your adult mac and cheese on the episode. I think that was the one that took you over the edge to win it. That was just a super exciting time watching everybody in the area, all of your fans, your fan base, talking about it on social media and watching the episode on TV. It was just really an amazing time for us. I'm sure it was even more amazing for you.
Yeah, when we had the watch party here in the restaurant, it was the most wild thing at all because it was like watching a Super Bowl or something.
Yep.
And of course nobody knew what happened, and every time like people would cheer. I mean, it was amazing. It was an amazing feeling, and it was also very humbling to receive that amount of support. And probably my favorite thing that's come out of that is when like little kids will come up and they'll have seen the episode and they'll want to get a picture or something, and like that's so cute. And I really
awesome.
Like my whole goal was to represent us well. Going out there, whether win or lose, I just wanted to show what West Virginia could do.
Yeah. Now, when you did the watch party with your employees at the restaurant, did they know? You didn't tell them? You made them watch it live? How do you sit there and hold all of that in while they're watching it? I would have cracked way early.
I have a decent poker face.
Yeah. It's pretty good poker face.
It was a surprise to everybody, and I kind of wanted it to be that way because honestly, it was a surprise to me.
Yep.
Like I never expected to have that opportunity to compete nationally and then actually to win it. Like, wow, that's amazing, and it was. I'm very fortunate that I had that opportunity, and I hope it leads to other great things down the pike.
Yeah, we need to get you. We need to get the Food Network to get you your own show. You need to host it.
That would be super cool.
Yeah, that'd be great. No, I'll make some phone calls for what it's worth. So everybody's kind of stuck in the house right now. We're all hopefully, fingers crossed, everybody is following the orders to stay home, to limit your outsideness, and to stay away from crowds, keep your social distance, all of that stuff. It's been a couple of weeks now. I think a lot of people are kind of running out of ideas in the kitchen. So I wanted to ask you, a professional chef, what can we do? What can an average Joe like me with no professional cooking background, what can I make up for my family tonight that isn't gonna that I'm not gonna burn?
Well, one of my favorite things to do is to take raw vegetables, cut them up into pretty good sized chunks. I'll spray them with a little coconut oil and then dust them with different seasonings, salt, pepper, some paprika, that sort of thing. And then throw them into a really hot oven, like 450 degrees for like 8 minutes, just until they get a little al dente. And that's my number one vegetable side for like all my meals. I tend to do roasted vegetable and then some sort of protein for my meals. And I keep it simple. Grilling, pan frying. You can baste a little bit with, taking the hot oil and butter or pouring it over the top of your chicken or your steak or anything like that. That's going to add a little more flavor to it. And then if you want to get creative, start thinking of things like, think of hummus. Hummus is basically ground down beans. Well, you can make hummus out of garbanzo beans like traditional. You can do it with black beans. You can do it with soybeans. What else could you do it with? Or mashed potatoes. What could you put in that to make it different, to make it a little more exciting? Put some sour cream and green onions in it, or put some cheese and garlic in it, and I think just kind of breaking down your food items to their basic components and then switching things in and out, to make them a little more interesting. And then, I think most people can tell if it's going to go together. But if you can't tell, take a bite of what you're cooking and then smell the spice. Or take a bite of what you're cooking and take a bite of, like, if you're going to add green onions, take a bite of your mashed potatoes, take a bite of your green onions. See if it goes together well in your mouth. And if it does, it's going to go well together on your plate.
I think that goes back to one of those things where there's really not a whole lot of hard and fast rules with basic food. Like, you're just kind of making things that taste good, right?
Right.
You just kind of experiment a little bit and kind of figure out what's good. And I like what you said about mashed potatoes. You make mashed potatoes and they're potatoes, but it doesn't just have to be that one ingredient. You can add all kinds of little things to it.
Right. I'm a big fan of technique versus recipe. And a lot of times I'll look recipes up for inspiration, and then I'll just sub some things in and out. And I think people get scared because they're not sure if this or that's going to work. And really the only way to learn is to do it and just try it out.
Yep.
And experiment a little bit, and realize that certain things are going to cook differently. Some meats are going to dry out if you cook them too long. But some meats, like a pork shoulder, is going to break down and become really delicious and savory and it's smooth. But a leaner cut of meat, like, you don't want to do that too, because it's going to turn into shoe leather.
Yeah.
So just thinking it out a little bit and then taking a shot. You're probably not going to make it inedible. So just go for
it. And cooking can be somewhat intimidating, especially with things like, you're watching the Food Network and you're watching pros and you see how easy they make it work. But it doesn't have to be that difficult. It doesn't have to be that complicated.
It really doesn't. Anything that's unknown can be scary and intimidating. And that's why I suggest just break it down a little bit. Identify some of the core components of the food that you're going to cook or that you want to cook, and take it from there. Really, it's just like music. Like, how many notes are there in the world? How many notes are there, period? How many flavors are there? Well, it's a matter of how you put those flavors together and what you do with them.
Yep. Are you doing much cooking on your own here at home?
Yeah, I've been playing around in the kitchen at home, doing some different things, playing a lot with cauliflower. Cauliflower is kind of past that craze, but, for a long time it was cauliflower crust pizza or cauliflower rice or all these other things. So I've been playing with that. I did some ginger marinated chicken the other night, some meatballs, and just really taking that opportunity to do some cooking in the kitchen with the girlfriend and see what we can come up with together.
You guys have cook-offs? Do you guys try to take each other on in the kitchen, see who can come up with a better dish?
We haven't done that yet, but she's super competitive, so that may happen now.
You can just say, "Hey, I want a game show." One of us want a game show.
I don't know if that's good enough, Nick.
What do you make whenever you come home? You've been at the restaurant all day. You're beat. You're hungry. You've only got a handful of things in the house. What do you throw together?
Oh, chefs are notoriously basic when it comes to that sort of thing. When we're cooking for ourselves, I'll open a can of baked beans and just eat it right out of the can. Like, I don't it's just sustenance. I only get really into the cooking aspect of it when I'm making it for other people.
Really?
And when that's when I get to, because I'm showing people how I care. It's a love language. And that's when I really try to pull the stops out and do really good stuff. But if it's just for me, I'll eat rice and lentils. I'll cook up a hot dog. Like, I don't care. It doesn't matter.
I always pictured you coming home after a long day at the restaurant and putting that chef's hat on and your thing, and you put all the little spices and doing all the little.
Never happened.
You never do it?
No, not at all. I try to avoid those chef hats all the time.
All right, hot dogs. Brand of hot dogs. Since you mentioned it, what's your favorite brand?
Hebrew National, probably.
There you go. Good. I was hoping you'd say that.
Yeah, they're good dog.
All right, Vagabond Kitchen, downtown Wheeling. Obviously you're going to be opening back up, and things are going to be back to normal here hopefully soon. Things are going to be good. In the meantime, if you're hungry, you want lunch, dinner, you're open. Would you say Wednesday through Saturday in the afternoons?
Yeah, Wednesday through Saturday, 11 to 8. You can give us a call at 905-6173. I'll always encourage people to check us out on social media. We have Vagabond Chef and Vagabond Kitchen Instagram pages and Facebook pages, and just kind of join us in the journey, and we're going to all get through this together.
Okay. Takeout, curbside. You're not doing delivery, are you?
Not at this time. I'm looking into
Yep.
delivery options, though.
Okay. Yep. Curbside and takeout. And what are the hot options right now? What are the big sellers on your menu?
Well, we're gearing up for a big day of catfish and chips tomorrow, it being Good Friday and all. So we just picked up a case of catfish from Coleman's right before we got on the air here, and we're getting that ready to go, getting it marinated. We soak it in buttermilk for at least 24 hours beforehand. And today we promoted the Charmander on our Facebook page, and we sold a bunch of Charmanders earlier. That's a really good steak wrap. The burgers are always burgers and mac and cheese have kind of become our cornerstone. So we roll with that. And those are very popular with folks. So we're just happy to be cooking food and keep feeding the community and try to, all get through this together.
All right, Matt. I appreciate you taking the time with me today. Good luck to you. We're all thinking about you. If anybody wants lunch from Vagabond, you want dinner from Vagabond, give them a call. And I would recommend the Borracho burger if you like the spicy, because it's my number one on the menu.
Well, thanks everyone, and thanks everybody who tuned in to watch too. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Matt. Chef Matt Welsh, Vagabond Kitchen in downtown Wheeling. This has been Split Screen, a production of Love OV and WTRF 7 News. Thanks for watching. We'll be back with you again next Thursday at 2 o'clock on Love OV and Facebook. Thanks. See ya. All right, man.